crypto legends, we're going to analyze very carefully the situation here for Bitcoin. Bitcoin will pump. Question is when, of course, but we're going to analyze the possible scenarios, of course, of where we can find that major support level. Are we getting supported right now, or will we have another leg down before getting a major rise? I'm going to explain with data why is there a possibility of the price to get that major pump, guys. I'm going to go right away through the comment section, say hello to the community, and we're going to dive in straight away into the Bitcoin analysis. I got some interesting stuff to talk about also today after the Bitcoin analysis, and that has to do, of course, with ETF, with, you know, who's buying, what is going on here. There's some interesting things that I want to talk about, of course, for the mid time frame. Of course, short time frame, yeah, anything can happen. We could go down, but I'm going to talk about what are the most important levels of support that we need to pay attention, guys, because if we do hit these major levels and then suddenly get a bounce, don't say that you were not warned. Let's go right away through the comment section. Aditya, thank you very much for joining. Mark Dutch, thank you very much for joining. Moon Boot Boy, we've got Seb here in the comment section. Red John, appreciate you. Andy, we're going to talk about that dodgy inverted head and shoulder, of course, that we mentioned on yesterday's update. My goodness, that was a very bad fake out. We're going to talk about that, guys. Don't worry, okay? Now, first, 38K, very much a possibility. We'll talk about that scenario as well. I mean, even sub 38K, we do have major support at that level. We've been talking about that level during a couple of live streams, but I like the range where we are currently. We're going to talk about it right away. Short squeeze, says Red John. Very much a possibility. There is shorters coming into the market. We can see that with the liquidity. We are having a lot of liquidity above $42,000, even up to $43,000. Will the price manage to go all the way up there? Or are we going to get a leg down sub $38,000 first? Now, there is a very interesting scenario here. Once the price does get that leg to the downside, below the lows that we have been forming during December, then we are looking for a possible bounce here. I'm going to explain what are the major resistance levels, also the most important levels of support. Okay, so let's continue here through the comment section. Short term only. Shadow, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. Thiago, Ball, 2 brain cells. Cool song. Thank you very much. Always Bull, says Thiago. Frank, how are you? Manu, guys, we'll be taking a look at some altcoins later on. Okay, but first of all, let's concentrate on the Bitcoin analysis. What is going on with Bitcoin? I don't think so, says Abhinav. Yeah, it does look very dodgy, right? We are in a downtrend, right? Nobody can get bullish, right? What are you talking about? How can there be a pump happening soon? Why will Bitcoin pump? You are smoking crack. Bitcoin is in a major downtrend and is going to go lower. How can Bitcoin pump, right? Well, we are going to talk about that right away. We are in a very, very strong descending channel here, as you can see on the chart. And we just hit that resistance a few hours ago from that lower high resistance, as you can see. So you could arguably discuss, yeah, this is just another rollover for Bitcoin that is going to come down to test that $38,500 low from Tuesday, right? It looks like it on the chart, right? The trend is your friend. This is likely just another rollover to come back down, right? If you are shorting this rollover, where are your stops going to be? Are you swing trading this to go to $38,000, $37,000 in the next coming days? Are you going to have stops above this high? Are you going to have stops here? Well, that is what I want to talk about in this live stream, right? It does look like that this is just a continuation to the downside here to roll back down. Not saying this is not going to happen. Of course it could happen, but there is things here that are happening on the lower time frames. We'll go through that in just 1 second. How many times did I say we're going to go through that? We're going to go through that. Just deal with it and go through it, okay? Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining the stream. Let's go right away into the analysis. Let's do higher time frame just for any people that are new here to recognize, you know, basically the resistance and support levels. Yes, I know, but this is just higher time frame. We've talked about this, I don't know, it must have been at least 30 times, but we're going to talk about it again, of course. 618 Fibonacci, big resistance level. Is this the top for Bitcoin for the next coming months? And we're going to go down. Very much a possibility, but right now we are facing one of the strongest levels of support on the higher time frame. Yes, that is that point of control of 21.22 that we did get a significant bounce of a couple of $1,000 during the last few days. Something to take into consideration. It's the only higher time frame levels that I am taking here. You know, they are important basically. Now, once we do dip down this level of point of control, what is the next level that you need to pay attention on the chart? Don't say that chart analysis does not work. Show me the charts. I'll tell you the news. BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF and all of the rest of ones getting approved here is not a good sign on the chart. Looking for that drop from $48,000 many weeks in advance. Don't care if it gets approved at the high here. It's likely going to get a corrective move. So the charts are very important, more important than the news, of course, because the news is reflected on the charts. So let's go continue here right away with why do I think that, you know, if we do break below that point of control from 2021 and 2022, right, on the Coinbase chart and some many other charts, this is this level right over here, getting that beautiful bounce here, really nice bounce of almost $2,000. Right? So continuing here, what if we do break through this level, right? Because there is two options here, of course, successful breakout or not a successful breakout. I mean, we might not even test that level and bounce, okay? But if we come down to this level, there's only two options, right? There's the option of breakdown, then we're looking for the next level of support, or there is the test of that low with a major wick, double bottom, swing failure pattern, failed auction, you name it, and then a massive recovery here. That is definitely a situation. That is a situation that I will be ready to take action with extremely good risk management to see if it is going to be a double bottom, right? Beneath that low here created on Tuesday, right? Sitting around about $38,600. Something to pay attention. We know that double bottoms happen and double tops happen consistently. They happen. They are everywhere on the chart. You can see them at highs, at lows. You know, there's double bottoms everywhere and double tops everywhere. So something to take into consideration here for your trading plan. Now, if we do break that level, question is, what is the next level where the price could get supported? Well, it's that level over here, the $37,700. That is a weekly naked point of control. It's basically this price action that we had right over here. Now we're not going to get the point of control right there. It's basically when you go to the weekly candlestick, okay, and you do take a look at the highest volume node from that week, it gives us, okay, that high volume node exactly at 37,700, right? We'll zoom in here just for the sake of it, right? It's a major high volume node right over here, okay? As you can see from this massive candlestick that we had on the last week of November. So let's zoom in here again on the 1 hourly time frame, on the daily time frame actually. We also have a daily level. It's a daily close and open. I like it. I like that level. You could get a major move to the downside when you got such a large candlestick like this on the daily. What Bitcoin likes to do, of course, is test the lows or the highs of every candle, right? You got multiple examples. You got this daily level right over here. This was a major wick, of course. It was a major wick, but you tested that level, major move to the downside. You got this daily level right there, as you can see. You test it with the candlestick. It's a major test. Bang, got a major bounce. So we always need to take that level into consideration. Could we dip down to that low from that day and then get the recovery? Absolutely yes. So it's the next level to take into consideration, guys. Okay. Just higher time frame levels here, analyzing the situation. Of course, I would be expecting a major bounce from that level. We've been talking about that. The volume starts off from that range, right? For anybody that hasn't been paying attention, you know, we got a big gap. The main reason we are holding here, the middle of the gap of no volume, is because of that point of control from 21.22 on the Coinbase and multiple different exchanges. That is the only level here, because if not, you know, that is going to be a drop of over $1,000 till we actually start coming to some volume, which is this consolidation from November. That is when it's going to get spicy. That's when it's going to get interesting. Can we hold that range? There is the other case scenario that we are going to get that bounce, right? Maybe in the coming days. This is very, very classic. We talked about this on another live stream. If you did not pay attention on the live stream and you left after 5 minutes because the live streams are boring and you're not giving any value, or you haven't got any time because you need to go to the bar and drink some beer with your friends, that's more important. Well, then I'm going to explain it right away. We talked about the price action that formed here back in 2021, and it's just basic price action, where we do see the price very hyped up, very strong uptrend during 2021, right? The beginnings of 2021 were absolutely insane. January, February, March, wow, Bitcoin, amazing. We were starting to form here very slightly higher highs and slight higher lows. The big parabolic momentum was getting to an end here, and it was not looking good. Having that major breakdown here. Now, this is what changes the structure of the chart. This is a very much bearish scenario. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to waterfall from this level. Of course, you're breaking structure, but the major drop has happened. Hey, Bitcoin has dropped almost, about $10,000. We were trading at $48,000 just a few weeks ago. Now, a $10,000 move to the downside is what we used to get back in the previous cycle when volatility was high. Big move down here. This was $64,000 range, all the way down to, my goodness, I mean, this was a major drop, down to $47,000, $48,000. Over a $15,000 drop right there in just a matter of a couple of weeks. Now, that was scary. The bounce, the dead cat bounce, the bounce that you do get after breaking the structure. When we do zoom in here and just analyze the structure, it's kind of, come on, is Bitcoin just going to fall off a cliff here and go to $34,000 or $30,000? Is that going to happen before getting a bounce and then possibly going down? It's just something that we need to take into consideration. When you do take a look at the price action here, the structure on the higher time frame, no doubt that this is, this ain't looking good. Any bounce from here it will be no moment to be bullish, in my opinion. Very, very rarely you're going to see something like this. Of course, can it happen? Yeah, of course. We might not even bounce to that level, but it's just a zone that we need to take into consideration. And my goodness, we got some beautiful, lower highs right there. It's just a classic level where the chart, needs to test. You kind of need to test that high, right? The question is, will that happen during the next coming days? Or will we get a leg down here to the biggest support range of the last few months, right? Which is that 37,700. This is where we have a major large consolidation. This consolidation has left a large amount of volume on the chart. And of course, this is support. Could we get a major bounce like this? It's going to be looking very, very disturbing, of course. We will analyze the situation once we get down to this zone. So let's talk about the lower time frames. How about lower time frames? Where are there opportunities here on the price of Bitcoin? Analyzing the situation here, we need to understand that, Bitcoin is in a big major downtrend, right? When we do connect these lower highs right there, right? And lower lows, it's just in a very, very strong descending channel downtrend. So when you're looking at this price action, it's just a classic, right? Impulsive, corrective, movement down. And the question is, will it come down to test this low? That is the major question. Or will it create a higher low right there and bang, get a breakout? That is what we need to analyze on the situation here on the chart. Because when we do zoom in, right, I got into a scalp day trade, long position already protected. I'm going to explain that trade right now. It'll probably get a wick down and get stopped out at break even. I will explain that situation right away. But, and this is a big but. What is happening currently, right now, with the chart? It just, if you tell me what comes first, are we going down to 38,700 or 40,700? I'm going to ask the community, because you might be bearish or you might be bullish. Do you see the chart doing this, or do you see the chart doing this, right? Let me ask the community. I'm going to do a poll right away. What comes next for Bitcoin? And I'm going to put here 40.7K. I want to know your opinion. Okay? Very important, the opinion from the community. Or 38.7K, right? We're kind of in the middle at the moment. Let me know, guys, what do you think is coming next? 38.7K or 40.7K for Bitcoin, right? What comes next? Let's go right away. No super chats here for the moment. Mark Dirch, thanks for moderating the channel as always, like a beast. New member, 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬, thanks for joining. Let's go right away and continue here. Interesting enough, let's explain what has happened during the last couple of days, guys, because I've been getting into some really nice trades inside of this zone, and I'm going to explain them right away. Let's explain what I have been doing, what I have been, where have I been getting into scalp and day trades. And it's purely based on levels of point of control, Fibonacci, failed auctions, swing failure patterns, right? Because this is the zone where I really like to trade. We talked about, this inverted head and shoulder scenario. This ended up in a miserable breakout. Okay, it was a fake out. It didn't play out, guys, gotta be honest. I did not get into a long position here, but it did look pretty good, but it ended up, it did consolidate at the neckline. Okay, we did get that small little consolidation here, got a little bit of a bounce, then came straight back down. Now, what happened as we lost this major level of resistance to flip as support? It had a little bit of a support flip, mini bounce here of $100, straight back down. If you're managing your risk, then it's fine, right? Your stop loss, might be around about this range. These are mini losses. You ain't gonna hold a long position here, and have your stop loss down beneath this level. It's just not how you want to trade, right? That's definitely not good risk management. So once we lost this level, this neckline, right? This neckline right over here, and this is just a classic retail pattern, right? That it's just going to make a lot of fake outs, right? It's just not the kind of pattern that you really want to be trading. Of course, it could be a reversal sign of the price of Bitcoin going to higher levels, but it's not really a great tradable pattern. So what happened here was obviously we faked out from that level. We got beneath the level. It acted as resistance. Very, very strong resistance. Now, this level of resistance was also getting resistance with the pivot high, pivot low here, 50% Fibonacci. You can see here, getting that resistance. It's just enough to see that there was a neckline fake out, and instead of acting as support, it was acting as resistance beneath the level. So there was a few trading opportunities. This was a beautiful test of the lows, swing failure pattern from these lows right over here to come back up to test that neckline as a take profit. And a lot of mini rate, I got into short position. I'm going to explain one of my trades that I made yesterday, and it was based, I was talking about this with the masterclass people from the modules today. Basically, this move here, this bounce to the upside. I'm just going to explain here, of course, how the price is looking very impulsive to the downside, very corrective to the upside, very impulsive to the downside, very corrective to the upside here. This was a great shorting opportunity to come back down to this low. And the main reason why here is, as you see this low from this major drop and you form this momentum like this, and you do not test that low right there, and you get the next leg here to the upside, you want to pay attention to see where this level is hitting. What is this level doing? So, I mean, basically, when you do take a look at the fixed volume profile from this range, you can see how that point of control from this area between Wednesday, okay, well, basically Wednesday's price action, you can see that point of control, highest volume node, getting exactly resistance at that point. And when you do take a look at the latest drop, you can see how pivot high here to that pivot low, you got beautiful confluence, 618 Fibonacci with that point of control to get that retest to then finally come down and test this low. So you got a short right there to take profit, test the low, and I did not take this long, but you got also a pretty nice long position right there based on a swing failure pattern from these lows. So range trading is just the absolute beauty. Range trading is where it gets really nice to trade. Now, when I do take a look at this price action here, what is happening right now? It looks like it's going to roll down, doesn't it? I mean, it does really look like, it's just going to roll down based on higher time frame, right? We are in a downtrend. The trend is your friend, and this just looks like it wants to roll down, and it might roll down for sure. But when you do zoom in here and you take a look at this price action right there, what is happening here is that we are forming very, 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 very strong bullish CVD divergence. Could we form a bottom formation here and get a rise? It's very, very possible. I mean, it's very, very possible based on the very strong bullish CVD divergence that we are forming on all of the exchanges from this pivot. We can see this pivot right there creating higher lows and extreme lower lows. There is selling pressure coming into this zone. So it might be a trick. It might be a trick. You might get a couple of wicks down beneath 39,600, 39,500. We're going to have to be analyzing the situation on the live stream here. So very strong bullish CVD divergence that the target zone should be this high right over here. So let's see how the price action reacts here during the next coming hours, because it might get that bounce. I got into a long position here on Bybit. Based on a small swing failure pattern on the lower time frames, being very defensive. Could it come down, test that low and get another bounce? Maybe it will be time to get into another long position if I get stopped out break even. Guys, if you want to trade on Bybit right now, you do have $20 for the first 25 people that sign up with the link down below. It is only till Sunday. This is only going to be till Sunday. You get $20 for free just by depositing $100. It's basically you're getting 20% of your deposit, and just by depositing $100. Make sure to take advantage of that bonus. That will be at the rewards hub, okay? Once you sign up with the link down below on Bybit to claim those $20 as soon as you deposit $100 so you can trade it, okay? You'll be having $120, total. Why not take advantage of that? They also have that competition going on, guys, where they have $2.2 million. Why not get a piece of the cake potentially if you're trading on Bybit anyway? So you got that link also just to go directly to the competition and sign in. Let's continue here with the scenario. Now, this would have been beautiful if it would have formed basically a Gartley pattern. We did create a high right there. What is a Gartley pattern? Well, basically it's it's a harmonic pattern. They happen many times on the chart of Bitcoin on higher time frames, lower time frames. We did create a high right there. So nevertheless, it is hitting that 7/8 Fibonacci retracement from this pivot low to the pivot high. So 7/8 Fibonacci, we got a bit of bullish CVD divergence on all of the exchanges. So they are getting absorbed, okay? Selling pressure is getting absorbed. The probability in a bounce here is there. Of course, you need to know how to trade it safely. Getting at the lowest level possible. Manage your risk with your stop losses. This thing about adding to your position and stuff like that. like I used to do in the past, is just going to get you burnt, right? That's how you burn your accounts, getting into big major losses, adding to your position and stuff like that. So let's go right away with the comment section. I mean, it will be very interesting to see the scenario here on Bitcoin right now in the next coming minutes, okay? Because we are getting that leg down, and you know, could we get that move down, claim this low that was just created a few hours ago, and create that double bottom? Because it is true that we're forming a little bit of a wedgie scenario, okay? And yeah, trust me, it does not look great on the higher time frames, right? This just does look like major bearish continuation, where you're coming down, bouncing, you're coming down, you're bouncing, and you're coming down from here. This point right there was not a bad swing short position. This happened today. Let's just explain this level over here, right over here. This was basically another fake out from the highs created today. Big major fake out right there. And this was hitting some important levels of resistance. Not only the proven resistance of today, it was also hitting the previous day value area high, which is obviously another level to take into consideration. When you do take a look at the previous session volume profile, okay, you can see that value area high there. You know, this ain't a very good breakout. It is very, very choppy. So no doubt that that was a really good shorting opportunity right there, sitting at 40,000, you know, 150, 200 range, okay, just as you were losing the value area high from yesterday. Then, of course, it was an acceptable short position just based on session volume profile, previous day value area high. We get Fibonacci from this pivot high from yesterday to the pivot low from yesterday, and we can see as well that 61865 Fibonacci, which is basically, you know, acting as resistance. We also got that resistance, okay, during midnight yesterday, you know, and then getting that pullback, also getting the pullback today. So pure Fibonacci, major ranges, levels, okay, to take those scalps day trade opportunities. Let's go right away, continue through the comment section. Ethereum is at critical support and it looks like it's going to drop. Shall we do analysis on Ethereum? Absolutely, let's go. Shorts must go on. Shorts must go on. Yeah, it looks like that shorts might just continue. When you do take a look at the overall trend, it ain't looking great. But if we start dropping from this range, if we were to start dropping, okay, continue this downtrend that we are forming today, you know, if we were to drop to these lows, it's going to be very, very much interesting, guys. You know, this is definitely a level where we could bounce. No doubt trend is your friend and you want to follow the trend. And if you can get into these resistance, right, these bounces, of course, you want to attempt any swing short position for that possibility of coming down to claim those lows, right? Obviously, we always want to go with the trend, especially when we swing trading, okay? When you're scalping, you can long, you can short, right? Inside of ranges, it doesn't matter. But when you're looking at the overall trend here during the last couple of weeks, yeah, we're very much trending to the downside. So let's analyze Ethereum, for example. I got someone here saying that, I want to talk about DXY, of course. DXY, for me, being the most important chart to realize for, you know, what's going to happen on the higher time frames. And it ain't looking too great, to be honest. But let's go right away with Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum, yeah. Ethereum is still at that critical level of support. Why is this so critical? Well, it's basically the moment where it's going to decide if it is, you know, breaking down the major uptrend structure that we created, you know, since October, November, December, January. Really strong uptrend structure. Bitcoin has already broken it. So possibly, you know, Ethereum will likely follow. It is also the value area low from the price action from December. When we do take a look at December's price action, we can see that the value area low is just right over here. There was a really nice long position here at just basically testing the low right there in a quick little swing failure pattern with the value area low. Will it break through on this test? You know, we're just a few dollars away. What we're about, you know, we're just about $15, $20 away in testing that low again. Is there a possibility for a double bottom here? Well, it is support. I mean, if the price action is going to be very, very choppy and have no steam, there is definitely a possibility of creating a double bottom here for the next coming days, just to take into consideration. And of course, for me, that double bottom, if we were to hold the low here and get back above that level after the wick, then, for me, the target zone would be claiming these highs right over here, which is sitting at 2,263. It's just a classic, right, three-wave structure right there. Bang, bang, bang. Possibly an ABC flat after testing the lows. It's just a matter of being ready in front of the chart. So let's go right away and continue with the comment section. Not much more has to be said with Ethereum, because if Ethereum does break down this level successfully, it ain't going to be looking good. It ain't going to be looking good, basically. So we are going to analyze the situation here with the rest of the altcoins. That wick looks scary. What wick? What wick looks scary? Let me know. Mark Dutch. Let's go here right away, continue with the comment section and analyze the situation. Let me just take a look at the poll right away. What comes next for Bitcoin? And I see many people saying that 38.7K is coming next. We got 39% of the people saying that is coming next, that 38.7K is coming next for Bitcoin. So most of the people are bearish here in the comment section. Let's go right away and take a look at some altcoins together, guys. Andy, is there a possible, let's take a look here at moderator Aditya, is there a possible Gartley pattern formation? Let's take a look at that right away. Is there a possible Gartley pattern formation here on Bitcoin? Looking at pattern from formation X point 38,500. We're going to go through that right away. Let's take a look at that right away, instantly. Gartley formation on the 1 hourly time frame. Let's go right away. Not looking good, bruv. We got here from Duke Nukeman. Let's take a look here at the possible Gartley formation from X point. We'll take a look at that right away. X point 38,500. 38,500. It could look like a possible Gartley. It could look like one. Let's analyze that situation right away. So X point right over here. And yeah, I guess it is looking quite symmetrical for the moment. It is looking quite symmetrical. So could we get that leg down here to the 7/8 Fibonacci here during today and tomorrow? It does not look bad. It does not look that bad. And, this would be a classic for the swing traders. This would be a classic scenario for the swing traders, basically to get that leg down. And a lot of people that are shorting the market, they want to take profits at the lows, right? This is just a classic target, right, for the traders, right? If you are shorting a major bounce, okay, you are targeting the lows, right? That is where you want to start taking your profits. Could it continue down? Of course, yes. This is why you do maintain some open, but it would be a classic target, okay, for, basically the traders. They're like, I'm not taking profit till we hit that low here from Tuesday. Now here where comes the tricky part. Here where the tricky part happens. Now we formed a major flat ABC right there. Very, very confusing one. As you can see, after a major drop, you're looking for kind of that three-wave structure, right? You're looking for a three-wave corrective structure. And my goodness, I mean, these are the worst ones where you do create that very, very, expanded flat right there. Bang, bang, bang. And it's like, woo, you test the lows, you test the highs. Then it's like, what's going on? And then obviously you just continue to the downside as you are in a major downtrend. The question is right now, have we created 3 waves here? Have we created 3 waves? And this Gartley pattern, I mean, it could happen. It could take the price. We're moving down at the moment. Moving down. Let's see if we do hold the range. Let's see if we do hold the range here. But if it starts breaking through, then we're just going to lower levels. Yeah, there we go. We're just breaking through at the moment. I mean, this is still very strong support. Let's see if it does maintain. If it does maintain, we can analyze the situation here. But this Gartley pattern does not look bad. If we were to drop down, the question is, you know, do we have more support here at the 7/8 Fibonacci? Is there any kind of support? There is. There is actually a naked point of control at that level at $38,950. No doubt that this is a bouncing level. It is a level where the price could test and get a major bounce. I like that level. Let's analyze here very, very carefully this level here for a possible Gartley, because we do have a naked point of control right there. This could be a situation for tomorrow. Now, the question is, having that massive amount of liquidity at $42,000, you know, is something to take into consideration. Of course, that liquidity could lie here for many, many weeks, okay? And it doesn't mean that the price needs to go all the way up there. So if we do come down there, I mean, I would expect a major reaction at that level. This does look pretty good. As we can see the price action here, have we already formed 3 waves? Have we already formed a 3-wave corrective move? You know, that is also something to take into consideration. You know, has this been it? And we're going to go down and test the lows. So it's always something to take into consideration where, you know, maybe the price hasn't finished the corrective structure. Okay, so major level, I like that level. I did chat spot on with that level. We're getting a little bit of a double bottom situation here. Not looking great. I would rather see a few more minutes on the price action to see if we are going to maintain this zone, because the bullish CBD divergence are still happening. We've just tested this low right over here. That was major level of resistance and support during the last few days. Got a beautiful swing failure pattern here. We are still creating higher lows. We are still creating higher lows right there. We're getting some aggressive shorts entering into the market when we look at this CBD. So still major lower lows here. So yeah, it's still looking pretty good for the price to actually hold this range. Anyway, let's take a look here at the comment section. Let's go right away through some altcoins as well. Yeah, Bitcoin showing the finger. ABC flat. ABC flat is also a possibility. Of course it is a possibility. You know, the thing about ABC flats is that you do create basically a failed auction double bottom scenario, right? It can be very, very ugly, such as this one, right? Where you just test those lows and then you get a massive spring point to and this would be your target. If you're longing from here, this is your target zone, right? Could that be the case? That is also a plan. I mean, we've been talking about this at the beginning of the stream. You know, how are we going to test this low? Because if we do, you know, is this the moment where it's, you know, already created an ABC? It's just, I don't see this very much as an ABC. It's kind of, we need another, you know, move down and a move above this one. You know, I don't see this as an ABC right there and then coming down. Based on the timing of the impulse move down, because this is the high and this is the low, it would be a very, very short, you know, corrective structure. When we do take a look at Fibonacci time, we do want at least, okay, a 1-to-1. Could it go to a 0.618 based on Fibonacci time from the high to the low of the impulsive move? I mean, we ain't even crossing the 0.018. So this would be a very, very shallow, you know, in time frame compared to the impulse, right? It seems like, you you know, and then maybe down. It's very, very shallow in my opinion, based on the timing, right? The timing doesn't look right if we were to push down from here. So anyway, interesting, much things to take into consideration. Guys, before I go through the comment section, higher level support, better incoming bullish. Before I go through the comment section to possibly take a look at some altcoins, you know, let's talk about what is going on. What are the big players doing after the ETF approval, guys? What are they doing with the ETF approval? Who's buying? Who has the biggest bags? But before we continue with that, you know, I have questions many times of what do I do with my profits? Do I withdraw them to my bank account? Do I buy Bitcoin? Do I change them to fiat? If I change them to fiat, what do I use? For me, the best place to do it at the moment is the 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕, guys. Here, for European people, you have your own IBAN as well. You can change your profits into fiat here without withdrawing to the bank account, of course. It's the easiest place to just send your crypto, change it to euro, and it's super easy, friendly to use. It just has a couple of tabs here to understand. You got your own IBAN here to basically deposit your euros. They are bringing up the 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗃 card, which you can use your profits and spend wherever you want, of course. That is coming very, very soon. So very excited to what is to come here. And yeah, I do take profits and I change it to euro here with the 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕. You got that link also down below if you want to know about the 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕 to basically take profits, change to fiat, right? I don't trust US dollar tether. You know, I know it's a stable coin, but I don't want to change it in stable coin. Well, you do have the 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕 to do so, okay, with your own IBAN. Check it out, guys. It is the link here, the fourth link in the description. Now, continuing with what is going on here with, you know, ETF scenario, right? Because have we forgotten about the ETF? No, it just happened not at the greatest moment for Bitcoin. It was, you know, Bitcoin was, you know, pumping like crazy to, you know, $48,000, $49,000. Just in breaking, we got from Bitcoin magazine, Forbes staff publishes the SEC Bitcoin ETF approval have forever altered the global monetary system. Now, of course, coming from Forbes, you know, a lot of people are going to be taking a look at this and, you know, probably, you know, they will see that Bitcoin has been rallying. You know, there's a lot of smart people out there as well. You know, Bitcoin has been rallying for a long time right now, for the last few months, almost doing a 200% gain in 2023, right? So, you know, of course, this is bullish for the mid-long term, right? But Bitcoin midterm definitely needs a little bit more of a cool off, right? So anyway, taking a look at these guys, you know, big breaking. Yeah, this is epic. $1.7 billion, right? BlackRock now holds 44,000 Bitcoin. That is crazy, you know. Yeah, Michael Saylor is one of them that holds over 100,000 Bitcoin. And, you know, the game is only starting, right? There's more Bitcoin now. They have more Bitcoin, BlackRock, now than a few days ago, right? And this should grow in time. Just imagine, you know, I would say easy prediction by the end of 2024, they should have more than 100,000 Bitcoin. And that is, you know, I'm saying end of 2024 being conservative. It might be in a couple of months, but, you know, these numbers are just going to grow. So let's, I got a super chat here right away. Let's go over that super chat. You know, there's some interesting things happening right now. Read question from Sin Games. Let's go right away. Sin Games. Andy, what's your thoughts on the weekly five wave up since 2012 from to the highs of 2021? Are we not expecting at least an ABC down from the highs on the weekly? Right. Yes. I'll go through that super chat, Jason. Let's just go through that scenario because I think we did talk about this on the latest live stream, you know, analyzing the situation with Bitcoin with Elliott Wave theory. looking at the BLX chart, right? Looking at the price action since 2011. And when we do zoom out on the weekly, right, let's get the logarithmic chart here and analyze this situation. So you are talking about the waves, okay? Let me go through that question again here from Zing Games, because no doubt that this is very interesting, and this would be obviously in confluence with a possible nasty recession, or you know, whatever happens, right, in between this year or next year possibly. If we do get you know, something, you know, very nasty happening globally, right, not only in the US, then obviously it ain't going to be looking too great. So the question here from Zing Games is, you know, what's my thought on the weekly 5-wave up since 2012? When you're looking at since 2012, you know, there's more price action, of course, since 2010 when Bitcoin was trading at a couple of cents. My goodness, you know, who bought Bitcoin here in 2010 at a few cents? Absolutely epic. I didn't. My first Bitcoin was bought here in 2018. So there is multiple ways in analyzing this scenario. This could be the very, very early stages. You know, this does look like very much like an S curve where, you know, there will be a super cycle, because if you do take a look at the adoption curve on, you know, all of the important things that we are using worldwide at this moment during the last decades, you know, such as electricity, automobile, social media, internet, they all have you know, a strong kind of adoption at the beginning and flats out till you actually get it to most of the people. Once it goes, you know, worldwide, of course, you kind of go into a super cycle, right, where everybody starts using it. So no doubt that this for me is kind of the early stages of Bitcoin, where, you know, we are going to see Bitcoin, you know, trading above $500,000. Of course, the question is when. Will it be in 2028 or will it be in 2032? You know, it's just, it will, you know, we are in that road. Going back to your question is, what do I think about, you know, the 5 waves up, but from 2012? And I would take into consideration basically the absolute lows of Bitcoin, which is basically at a couple of cents, right? Now, there's many ways to analyze this situation. There's just many ways, because when you do take a look at Elliott Wave theory, could you say that this is one wave, then 2, 3, 4, 5? Well, that doesn't make sense, because, you know, you basically had with timing, this shouldn't be an ABC large bear market corrective move. So the only way that I do see this possible is saying that we had the first wave being the largest wave. Third wave doesn't need to be the largest, especially when something is new. You know, Bitcoin hasn't been here for, you know, over not even 15 years. So you need to count the first wave as the most impulsive in this case, right, till the market matures. So the only way to see this is the third wave. This is the fourth wave right there. And basically this is the fifth wave. And I guess your question comes to this right now, as in, you know, is this a much larger ABC corrective move that the bear market should extend till the end of 2024 and even beginning stages of 2025? And I'm just going to say it's definitely, you know, it's definitely something to consider. We know when the futures were accepted by, you know, the CME futures, Bitcoin CME futures, back in late 2017. That is when the price started to get into the bear market. And there's been many events, bullish events, right, for institutional adoption that have actually signaled the top. So this being the biggest one right now, Bitcoin spot ETF, and then obviously you know, could it signal a major top? I don't think it ain't going to be possible to get that leg down beneath $15,000. I mean, obviously there could be a panic moment such as the C19. These are kind of unpredictable moments that you get a major big sell-off. However, there's just so much demand on Bitcoin and demand to buy cheap, right? Probably we are going to get that drop because people are not interested in buying Bitcoin at $40,000, $50,000, right? They want to buy cheaper. However, they are very much aware that, you know, hey, the lower Bitcoin goes, the cheaper the people can buy, and we do not want the people to buy cheap. We do not want the people to buy cheap. And this is why, you know, if we were to get a major move down in the coming months, the opportunity is going to be life-changing. It will be that kind of last moment to get really cheap Bitcoin. I mean, I would definitely not be scared. I understand the situation where we at. You probably understand as well. Any price action, my goodness, that goes beneath $15,000, you run to the exchanges and you buy as much as you can. This is an order from me. Only joking. No financial advice. No doubt. I mean, I will be so happy if we were to get that opportunity of Bitcoin dipping down beneath $15,000. So, I mean, I guess your question is related to this much larger time frame ABC corrective move. And then we're going to get some smart ass right over there saying, you know, but the third wave needs to be the largest. No, it does not. It cannot be the shortest wave, and the shortest wave is the fifth wave in this case. So anyway, don't think that this is likely. Could it be a shallow ABC, right, where it's just basically not managing to create the full ABC, and it's just like a, you know, an ABC that doesn't manage to get below the A wave? I think this is more a possibility. It should extend more in time, of course, because the main reason why I don't think it's going to go beneath this level is just because the demand is going to kick in so strongly here that it's just, I see it very, very difficult, very, very difficult, because the bullish pressure is just going to be insane if we do dip beneath $26,000, $25,000. It's just, it's a classic zone. It's a classic zone, right, where most of the people are going to fear. You know, which is the strongest support level now for Bitcoin? When we do take a look here at, let's just go right over here, basically. It is that value area low. The value area low from the trading range of 2021 and 2022 is sitting at $30,000, right? $28,000, right? This has been the strongest resistance level in 2023 on higher time frames. What do you think that the people are going to think if we dip beneath this level? Game over Bitcoin. It's you know, we're going down to 15K. We have lost the support level here. It was the one that we were hoping for, and obviously we're going to get the major bearish, you know, news out there, bearish Twitter, bearish YouTube, everything, everybody's bearish, because we've lost a big major support level and we are looking for much lower levels. This, for me, would be no doubt an opportunity zone. I will risk very much here. I would basically not go all in, but I would basically purchase several Bitcoin at this zone. And it just works with the psychology. It works with the psychology that, my goodness, you know, there's going to be a lot of people buying here, you know, as we lose this level. You know, the question is, will there be enough bearish momentum to come back down and test the lows, right, from December of 2022? You know, considering an ABC correction, it can be very, very complex. You can get a flat ABC. You can get, you know, an extended ABC. You can get, you never know where it's going to end, you know, a C wave. The multiple different ABC corrective moves. And for the case of Bitcoin, you know, it's just, I would not personally think that this is going to extend down beneath, you know, $9,000. It's just unlikely to happen anyway. Could it happen? Of course it can. But anyway, let's go with the super chat here. Yeah, sorry about that. It was a little bit too long, but anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed a little bit of that, you know, overview here of what could happen. Let's go right away here through the comment section. I got a super chat here. Where is it? There we go. Jason, thanks for the super chat. Dot, please, Andy, and if possible, 𝗖cie as well. Thanks, mate. You're very welcome. Fans from Indonesia. Wow, thank you very much. Fans from Indonesia here in the room. Let's go right away with Polkadot. Right away. Let's go Polkadot. What's Polkadot saying on the chart? Let's zoom out a little bit here and analyze Polkadot. Yeah, remember this move here to the upside. Getting a kind of a big fake out here from this resistance. But I got into a quick scalp short here. And this was based on the point of control and the 618 Fibonacci. I think we did mention this on one of the live streams. That what happened here on Polkadot, and we can see this on the chart already, you know, without even, you know, putting fib levels or anything. When you take a look at this pivot high to the pivot low and this bounce right over here, getting to this cluster of price action, you know, I can already tell you that the point of control is just likely going to be there. Looking at the fixed volume profile from this range, right? So yeah, there you have it. So you basically, I mean, this was an epic level for a short, and the main reason why, and this is something very similar that I'm looking for Bitcoin. If we were to get a bounce above $43,000, you're basically, you know, breaking a bit of structure here on the higher time frames, right? You're kind of trending up here, and you get a major breakdown, and this bounce is just likely going to create a lower high because you're breaking the entire parabolic move, right? You have a nice parabolic move right there that's been completely broken. And the best level to short, of course, is that 618 point of control. Now, analyzing Polkadot on the higher time frames, legends, let's talk about this. For me is the kind of disbelief rally. This for me is the kind of disbelief rally where it's probably going to get a little bit spicy during the next coming weeks, maybe a few months, where this retracement is probably going to take us several more weeks. But for me, it's going to be a great buy zone. I would say that the low for Polkadot is in here at the $3.60 level. This is the classic breakout of the bearish structure that, yeah, we ain't gonna go to the moon, of course, you know, anytime soon. The halving hasn't happened yet, but this is already the confirmation. This is very impulsive. This is very corrective. Of course, it is a little bit soon. It can get very choppy. But if we do take a look at, you know, if this is the bottom, because, I mean, Polkadot hasn't had many cycles, right? It's basically had one cycle. When we do analyze the situation of this bear market, right, it's just, I mean, for me, it's pretty clear. You know, for me, it's pretty clear. I mean, this is the moment where you want to buy. For me, this could be an ABC flat right there. Very classic. Multi-months of sideways action here. And this has already broken the bearish structure, sorry. Bearish structure has been broken. And when we analyze the first wave that happens in the start of the bull market, for me, this is already the first wave. And hey, this first wave has gained some momentum. This first wave has gained some significant momentum. For me, this is the first wave, and the second wave can go as low as the 7/8 Fibonacci, and we will analyze that situation. Of course, third wave can be extremely impulsive, but analyzing the situation here with the pivot low, you know, for me, this is the bear market low, and this is broken structure completely. You know, starting the new bullish structure. It can go as low as the 7/8, right? Give or take, might tap the 0.88. For me, we are inside of the second wave, and we can reach easily for a second wave. You know, usually, I mean, it can be in between 50% and 7/8 Fibonacci. That is the most common range for a second wave. So no doubt that Polkadot could drop another, 20%. With timing, and timing is extremely important as well. When we do take a look at the lows to the highs, we still got till, first week of March, right? So there could be another 4 or 5 weeks of downtrend, even 6 weeks, till we start hitting a 1-to-1. Taking into consideration the impulse, the break of the structure, yes, we are in a corrective move. In between 50% and 7-8, we're already hitting 50%. For me, this is going to be a buy zone for the case of Polkadot. And it's purely based that the bear market structure has finished. It's been broken. The bear market structure has been broken. Of course, we could be multiple weeks still here of a little bit of consolidation, move down to $5, even $4.50. Okay, it's very much possible, which would bring you a great buying zone. If we were to do this in the next coming couple of months, it's just going to be an epic buy, because the next impulse is going to be, will blow your socks off. The next impulse will blow your socks off. Anyway, that's my higher time frame scenario here, looking at Polkadot. Let's analyze the situation for Top Andy. Steven Myers, how are you doing, my man? Thanks for joining the stream. Which food is famous in Denmark? Okay, that's cool. Let's 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕 says BTC might range tightly, may slowly bleed, and SPX very likely hold underwater puts till FOMC March. Historic level of rising puts since last summer, building every quarter, dragging theta on puts. 2 cents. Yes, sir. Very possible. I mean, when we do take a look at the SPX, S&P 500, it's been, we just hit all-time high just a couple of days ago. Well, basically yesterday, right? Yesterday, new all-time highs. So it's consistently making all-time highs during the last week. S&P looking bullish. It's in price discovery mode, so it's, we don't have any chart analysis here to realize what levels are important, right? It's just when you have data on the charts, you can take a look at highs, major point of controls, major highs, major lows. When you take a look at this high, well, and you test the high, you get a corrective move. But now it's in price discovery, so it's very, very hard to see the projection, right? With the S&P 500, some major classic technical analysis guys may say that this has formed a cup and handle, and then we're going to go to, give or take to 5,700 points. This could still be in fake out territory, and basically a big massive double top, just like Bitcoin did back in 2021, right? You could extend a little bit and then create an awful failed auction. Very, very complex at the moment to see the situation here with the S&P 500. It's still in fake out territory, right? It could aggressively move down from this point. The most important chart that I want to take a look at here with you guys is the DXY. SPX breaks all-time high next Bitcoin. Can you please have a look at AUD, please? Yeah, we can take a look at AUD as well. First of all, DXY, guys, some just basic charting, and DXY looks strong as hell. Looks very, very strong. Basic chart analysis that we mentioned many weeks ago was, guys, there is a high chance that the DXY could create a higher low here and continue an uptrend in the next coming weeks and months. And that was just purely based on basic market structure, right? Low highs, lower lows, bang, you break here the bearish market structure that we had in between 2022 and 2023. And in August, right, of 23, we broke the market structure, meaning that there is a high chance in creating a higher low here. We need to understand that it's hitting one of the strongest bases of support, and it ain't looking too great. It ain't looking too great. I know a lot of people saying the dollar's dying and all of that, but I do see a bullish trend here formation on the DXY, and of course that ain't going to be good for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, hates the DXY, the dollar index. Bitcoin hates it. If the DXY is strong, then that makes Bitcoin weak. And there is a projection here on the DXY that it could actually, come back up and test these highs and possibly break them. Yes, no doubt we will be facing some resistance. We got that point of control that was big resistance back in June. Also broke down from here, major resistance right there. Could we act as resistance here a little bit, get a major pullback so Bitcoin can rally? If the DXY were to move down here in between, this week and next week, we would see a rally on Bitcoin, no doubt. The negative correlation is insane with the DXY. So if DXY gets a bit of a pullback here, by next week, then obviously, that is the moment that we will see Bitcoin possibly going to $43,000 plus, right? If that were to be the case. So yeah, no doubt it's going to be facing a little bit of resistance. So we could get that pullback on the DXY. So I got AUD here, right? When we do take a look at AUD, I think we don't have much data here on AUD. I mean, massive hype pump. Of course, this is on the this is when Bitcoin, when a lot of coins were created on the Bitcoin chain, basically, right? Bitcoin blockchain. There was a bit of a hype on this, and it hyped up very, very well. I'm just going to say that this the parabolic move of AUD has been broken. This has done what's it done? It's done over a 20-30x, right, during the last few months, and it's kind of over, right? The parabolic move is over. I would be very much aware of the situation here looking at AUD. Let's take a look at Binance. I think crypto here is not going to give me the possibility of putting fixed volume profile now. Let's go with Binance here right away. And yeah, the main reason why we're getting a reaction here is, we're slightly below that level. We got a major reaction here just a couple of days ago, where we got an instant bounce of a little bit of a percentage. Not looking too great. If we were to get a bounce on AUD, say it comes to the value area low, maybe tests these lows, right, which is a bouncing level, no doubt. If you test the lows of the range, it's a classic range where you test the lows and you get an instant bounce. This dead cat bounce, if it were to happen in the next couple of weeks, it is a level to short, in my opinion, based on, it's the hope bounce, right? When you do take a look at the, cheat sheet, right, from a major parabolic move, it's the complacency, right? We just need to cool off for the next rally, right? So when you do take a look at this and you see the massive euphoria stage, I mean, there was euphoria here on AUD, right? The last few months in December, it's like, wow, absolutely crazy. This is just continuing to pump like insanely. When you do take a look at that breakdown of the entire parabolic structure, which is this move here to the downside, and that's what I think where this is. Unlikely that this, if it does get a bounce, it's going to go to all-time high. It's just an unlikely move. It's an unlikely move. This is pumped like crazy. It's gone up over 2,000% in a matter of a few months. This ain't sustainable. So when you do take a look at this, obviously, if it were to get that bounce, of course, AUD here in the next coming weeks, for me, it's just going to hit a lower high right there. And this is the moment where you should be paying attention to that famous 618 from the pivot high to the pivot low, wherever this is going to be. It might be here. It might come down and test these lows. That will be the moment that you need to analyze here, the high volume node from this range. I mean, it is exactly at the 618 if we were to come down to test the lows and get the bounce. So for me, testing the lows of this range, value area low, test the lows, would be a level for a possible recovery and an epic bounce. But this zone here from value area low to point of control will be the zone for me that's going to be like, my goodness, this is just going to create a lower high and then enter into into a much larger drop, you know, and that's basically mirroring this range of complacency, you know, anxiety once you create that lower high. Just a little bit of my point of view here. I mean, this is pumped too much during the last few months, and money printer is on, says Tim. I mean, money printer on, game on, right? Interest rates down, money printer on, very, very much a possibility. Yes. What do you think about RLC? No thoughts. I haven't done any research on that. Look at coin that are on wave 2 pullback. Look at coins that are on wave 2 pullbacks. There are many good altcoin projects, such as 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕, and I do still have a bag of 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗕. This one, I mean, this is another one, just like Polkadot, right? Good projects, and there is a project that I want to scoop up, and that is Quant. This is one that I did some research. I want to get this one below $100. It's just about there. I would be happy to get 100 Quant, but this is an epic fundamental project. You know, just one that I'm looking to add to my portfolio. I'm going to wait to see if it does get a little bit more of a pullback. Theta Network, it's another one. You know, hey, we've been in a brutal bear market. People forget that the bear market that we've had during, you know, late 2021 and 2022 has been absolutely brutal. You know, the bear market has happened. The brutal bear market has happened already, right? So altcoins are just at it. They're just coming to a huge major opportunity. And Theta is one of them, in my opinion. Yeah, could it go to 80 cents or maybe even 70 cents, you know, during the next coming weeks, right? Before the halving, you know, or after the halving. It's just going to bring a major opportunity. It's just, when we do take a look at, you know, the structure, the bearish structure has been broken. Same scenario as Polkadot. You know, this, I can already tell you that the probabilities in creating a higher low here is just insane. It's massive. It's very likely to happen. The bear market has happened. We've had a brutal bear market. It's been brutal. How much bear market do you want? You know, it's just it ain't gonna happen, right? So I mean, for Theta, for me, the same scenario here. You know, we are already at levels to bounce because it is the first wave to the upside, and this has been a pretty nice wave one with a 160% pump in the case of Theta. Wave 2 on the formation. There's still many weeks to go here, possibly. We're already hitting the 618. You know, for a wave 2, we've already got 50%, 618 and 78. I mean, I don't think we're going to go much lower than 75 cents in the case of Theta. I mean, this would be the ultimate great buying zone, in my opinion. Just a little bit of high time frame scenarios that I've seen. Did I take 𝗖cie chart? No super chat on 𝗖cie. We just got the super chat here from Jason, which thank you very much, Jason, for the super chat. What's up with 𝗬𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕? 𝗬𝗬𝗕 is brutal. 𝗬𝗬𝗕 is brutal. I'm down on my portfolio on 𝗬𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕, but I still think that 𝗬𝗬𝗕, it's the same similar scenario. It didn't have much of a great breakout. I mean, it technically on higher time frames, it technically did create a lower low right there. So the low was you know, here in September, right? So this is a lower high. So it technically is a higher high right there. You know, same scenario here for 𝗬𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕. I think 𝗬𝗬𝗕 is going to find a bottom formation very soon. Very soon. And it might take weeks, of course, of consolidation, but if the consolidate is hitting the 618 Fibonacci at the moment from the bottom to the high, 61878 for a wave 2. If this starts doing this kind of price action in the next coming weeks, guys, it's going to be absolutely epic. It's going to be a great zone, right? So the next coming weeks are going to be very interesting because, yeah, we could get a few more legs down here. We could go sideways. It could be a little bit bearish. But the moment this does this kind of price action, that is the moment you want to be ready. You want to be ready in these kind of price actions, right? Because, you know, what comes next is this. When you come down and form a like sideways momentum, right? It will be the moment to get ready and buy some bags. Right. Dot and 𝗬cie. Let's take a look at 𝗬cie. Okay, right away. Yeah, we've taken a look at Dot. Shall we take a look at 𝗬cie right away? If possible, 𝗬cie. Okay, if possible. All right, let's make it possible and take a look at 𝗬cie right away. What's going on with 𝗬cie? What can I say about 𝗬cie? I mean, it got into the epic level to short. It got into it, and this didn't break much bullish structure. Sorry, I mean, this did not break bullish structure, to be honest. It did on the lower time frames. I mean, on higher time frames looks still pretty solid, but there was an epic short on 𝗬cie, guys, and you know, you get the deal, right? It's just right over there. It's here. It's the, you know, the short was there at the 618 point of control of this range, right? It's just this was a level to short, guys. It was it looked very, very good. Is this going to go to lower levels? That is the question, of course. For me personally, you know, 𝗬cie, high chance that it does come down and test these lows. High chance. The structure hasn't been broken that bad. It has on the lower time frames, right? So I mean, but the higher time frames looks really, really solid. When you take a look at the lower time frames, you are basically, you know, this has been very, very bullish, and obviously already here you're creating a lower low and you're creating lower high right there, so the bearish momentum to continue down. However, on a higher time frame, it ain't looking that bad, because the impulsive move right here has been absolutely epic. I mean, to be quite bearish, you could have to kind of break down beneath these higher lows. So even though if you do come down to test these lows, you know, I do see the possibility of 𝗬cie, you know, basically forming a much larger ABC structure right there. It's going to be interesting. I do see these lows being tested possibly in the next coming days, based on a, you know, a large move down here, A, B, and a possible C right there. This is going to be the level of interest to see how the price action reacts. Will it be just a movement down back up inside, you know, above these highs to then get a recovery, or will it come back down here, you know, form a double bottom scenario, you know, possible levels to long. If you get back above this range, you're reclaiming a level of a sign of strength. We're going to have to see, but for the moment, you know, it looks quite bearish in my opinion. No doubt that this is a super strong resistance zone based on the price action formed here during the last year, you know, during the last week basically. Big level to short right there. Ain't looking too bad, you know, even though 𝗬cie does retrace down beneath $1. I mean, look at that bounce exactly at $1. If it does get beneath $1, you know, would consider looking at the scenarios here for a 3-wave ABC move and then possibly continuation. We're going to see how it develops, guys. Not much more has to be said, guys. Bitcoin is getting a bit of a recovery here. It is finally bullish divergence playing out. Bullish divergence still. We are forming higher lows right there. You know, could this be the moment it bounces? We're forming a bit of a wedgie structure right there. It's on the resistance zone. It ain't looking too bad. The massive bullish divergence were absolutely insane. Higher highs right there, lower lows on the CBD. It looked pretty epic. We've even got lower lows on Bybit from this point, right, where you are, you know, this is just, it's still very possible to claim above $40,000 and even going to $42,000-$43,000 based on the amount of liquidity that there is still sitting there, guys. So possible larger bounce. Like I said, on higher time frames, we are going to be analyzing the situation here of Bitcoin during the next coming days, because if it does manage to rally in the next coming days, and we are looking at this scenario of possibly doing this, claiming the highs at 43,500. I'm going to be quite bearish at this point. I'm going to be ready to be bearish at this point. I will be ready to be quite bearish at this point if that were to be the case. It's going to be very, very much interesting. I mean, we got the point of control right there from the consolidation here of December, exactly at these highs. So in the valley area high, 618 Fibonacci is slightly above, but even, I mean, this zone is just going to be absolutely crucial. It's a zone to create a lower high. We'll be analyzing the situation if Bitcoin were to get extremely bullish, right? And then we're going to see a lot of people, right, really, really bullish. We're gonna be very, very careful here, guys, together. Okay, we'll be streaming, we'll be analyzing the situation. You know, maybe it could be an epic swing short position back down, not only to the lows, you know, possibly to even lower levels. Okay, will that pump happen? We're just gonna have to see, guys. We're just going to have to see. So far, it does look pretty good to claim the highs of today. It does have a chance, no doubt, based on the bullish CVD. So it could go above 40,300. We're gonna have to check the price action, see if it does gain momentum here to the upside. But the pump is very much possible. 72k subs almost. Yes, sir. Hey, subscribe to the channel if you want more updates on Bitcoin, you know, cryptocurrency, live streams, because I'm going to be here every single day, guys. Thank you very much for joining, and I will see you in the next one.